Right, so very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We would like to welcome, on behalf of Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, we would like to welcome all our participants who are here today for the Open Day in Business and Professional English program. And also, we would like to welcome all our distinguished guests who are here today, joining us with this Open Day. Now, before starting off or moving with the proceedings of this Open Day, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to give you a brief introduction about the Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing. I know most of you have done your research already about Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing and then of course about this program, but let me give you a brief introduction about both the Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing and then of course the BPE program as well. Now, Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, ladies and gentlemen, is the apex body for Sri Lankan marketers, which was founded in 1970 and subsequently incorporated by an act of parliament in 1980, recognizing it as the national body for marketing in Sri Lanka and a not-for-profit organization as well. Now, we're mandated to uplift the marketing profession in Sri Lanka, providing marketing studies and conducting many national level events and projects as well. So SLIM is governed by a council of management and an executive committee headed by a president and composed of professionals from numerous industries working in an honorary capacity here at Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing. And then, of course, ladies and gentlemen, the BPE program, or the Business and Professional English program. Now, the ability to communicate effectively in English is an essential skill for the workforce worldwide. And even though there are numerous educational programs that attempt to provide a good understanding of the English language, they're not designed to cater to a specific field such as marketing. Now, that is where Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing came in with this BPE program. Now, it is custom made for all the marketing professionals. If you're willing to enter into the marketing profession, now this program is an ideal stepping stone for each and every one of you to get your English game on a really good game. Now, being the national body for marketing, ladies and gentlemen, SLIM always encourages and promotes marketers to further enhance themselves as marketing professionals by designing this unique English program that helps them to engage with their businesses much more efficiently and effectively. Now, with that, ladies and gentlemen, with that introduction, we would now like to move on with the proceedings of today's event. Now, to officially welcome each and every one of you on behalf of Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, I would like to invite a special personality joining with us on behalf of Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, or representing Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing. Now, he started his career in the industry of insurance, and from there onwards, he was able to make his way through a set of companies, a diverse set of companies, and currently he holds the position of Head of Business Development at Oklo Private Limited. Now, apart from his contributions in the corporate world, he's been involved in different institutions in the capacity of a trainer, lecturer, advisor, and a mentor as well. And currently, ladies and gentlemen, he's an executive committee member of Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Dilhan S. Jayatilaka, executive committee member, Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing.
Thank you, Osida, for the introduction. Good afternoon to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I am audible.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So on a Saturday afternoon, we have gathered here to contribute to something very important. One of those, I think, key important subjects in today's context, being in Sri Lanka, business professional English. So let me first of all extend welcome to all of you participated here. We have our keynote speaker, Ms. Dulanganee Mathugama, as well as we have our lecturer, Shanika Fonseca. And I see students have also joined on this launch of BPE. So when you say business and English, people tend to believe that it is about getting to know to talk a bit of English and add a bit of flair and accent towards it, and being able to manage with some added vocabulary, and that's about being business savvy on English. Well, there is a lot more to it, and I think Slim in our ranks have taken that responsibility forward by introducing this BPE program. And when you say business professional English, we give a flair of language as well as skill set and knowledge to serve and handle themselves or rather handle oneself in the corporate environment. So together with English, it is not only about how to manage the language by mixing some words that you have. It's about a lot of other things like how to handle a meeting, how to write a letter. Of course, letters are now going little by little away from our usage, but still, in certain instances, we still need drafting letters. Then, more commonly, formation of an email and your efficacy at the workplace, behavior at the boardroom, managing a meeting, uh, of course, being represented at the meeting and presenting yourself. So plethora of other things also come up with when you say business associated with English. So if you see our leaflet or rather the flyer that is being shared, it says "Kaddai rasawai dekama hadaganna." So khadda more often as we use in our terminology is essential in corporate world. And we live in a country where a couple of generations ago, our rulers thought it should be Sinhala, the national language, Jatika Bhashava, and English is not needed because it belongs to the Suddha, the ones who were uh, invading us for centuries and taking control of us. But as a result, today, 3 generations later, we realize that we have a difficulty in passing IELTS when we want to go abroad. If our school curriculum had more focus on the language from the small ages, then our generation today will not be facing this problem. If you look at India, our closest neighbor, English is an essential part of the school curriculum, and that makes them, irrespective of however good you are or not you are in the other subjects, it makes you what do you call armed with the language skill so that you are able to easily find employment in the corporate world. Again, leaving out the fact that their labor is cheaper than us and all sorts of other things, but linguistically they are prepared. So even in terms of when they try to go doing the exams on language, their skills expectation is lesser than the skills expectation is compared to us in Sri Lanka. So all this because of the fact that we have taken wrong decisions uh, in our eras of since independence up to today, and added to that comes with this issue in uh, trying to focus more on our own language and forgetting the fact that there is a global language that we have to be equipped with. So all in all, anyways, now that we are living in 2023, it is up to us and us only that we need to be strong in what we do, and we need to be strong in our language so that we become competitive over the others. So that's where I think more commonly the issue also started with this competition between local universities and the private sector universities and colleges that are offering paper qualifications, which became prominent when two people go to the interview. One represents a private sector institution and other the state sector, and the corporates tend to hire the one from the private sector because the language skills thought to be superior. I think, but those things are also now getting mitigated little by little because our education system has realized that things need to change over time. And all in all, though, since in our school system, since the English teachers are not properly trained and we have a lack of numbers in English teachers to spread around the country to all the schools, we have this problem where our children coming out of school post O level or advanced level are not able to handle the language in the way that the corporate world would be expecting to. So Slim, in our capacity, are trying to bridge that gap and make sure that our student population are geared to take up the challenges in the market. So looking at present context, many people are leaving the country even with the visit visa just to get out of the country with the hope and will of finding employment in some other godforsaken country with the expectation of earning more money, then their families can be better living in Sri Lanka. But then that has also created a vacuum in the marketplace where there are vacancies available for good positions paying very well, but the resource pool out there who are ready to take it up are not conversant in many things that a company would expect. So private sector behaviors are totally different. I'm sure all of us agree in general towards that mutually. And to meet those expectations, we need training on something like business professional English. So that's why Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, being the apex body of marketing in the country, have taken the steps to not only teach marketing with our plethora of courses, but to add that English and behavior also into a program, so that we believe our own students and the students from outside can enroll and equip themselves for these opportunities in the market that are prevailing. So I think being the welcome speech, I should be giving room to the keynote speaker. The lecturer, staff, and all the students for joining today, and hope all students will have a wonderful program. And I also thank you very much for having me here, and all the very best. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for welcoming our guests and, of course, all our participants for the BPE program, the Business and Professional English program offered by Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing. Right, so moving on with the proceedings now, ladies and gentlemen, to address this gathering, I would like to invite, as Dr. Dilhan mentioned, I would like to welcome our guest speaker for today's event. Now, she's a professional marketer with over 10 years of experience in the corporate world, and currently she's heading the marketing department of Domino's Sri Lanka. She holds a master's degree in business administration from the University of Sri Jayawardenepura, and also she's a certified marketer at Chartered Institute of Marketing. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guest speaker for this open day in business and professional English, Ms. Dulanganee Mathugama, Head of Marketing, Domino's Sri Lanka.
Thank you for that introduction, Oshada. Good afternoon to all of you. And thank you very much, Shantini, for inviting me to speak. I'm glad that I was able to make it because the earlier forum, I had a personal emergency attend. So I'm glad that I was able to make it up to Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing to speak a few words on this open day on the BPE program. So I have a few slides to ensure that I keep my speech a little structured and to the point. I hope my slides are visible. If someone could confirm to me from the audience.
Can see the slides, Dulanganee.
Okay, thanks very much, Dr. Dilhan. Yes. So in the corporate world, I mean, you all have enrolled for this business English program into at a slim, I would say. So in the corporate world, basically, guys, communication is the key thing, right? You need to meet people, right? You need to make connections. So we as humans, I mean, we don't have sign language, right? We need to speak to make connections. So communication is the key thing. In my 10 year of experience, even so being a marketer for a product to launch, understanding consumers, that entire journey actually starts with right communication, asking the right questions at the right time, and building that empathetic communication with your consumers, with your internal stakeholders, right? And in the business world, as Dr. Dilhan explained, even though we live in Sri Lanka and our native language is Sinhala, but in the business world, we speak English because we don't, our businesses are not isolated in Sri Lanka. We need to interact with the global world. There are global suppliers, global stakeholders in businesses. If you want to grow your business, you need to expand. So on those lines, you cannot, be isolated to Sri Lanka. You need to connect to the world. So the platforms are available now. Digital is expanding. So all these new channels and platforms, people to communicate, the key language would be English. So I would like to stress upon the importance of the language there. Having said that, I mean, just to speak from statistics, English is one of the most spoken languages in the entire world, right? So you may have the subject knowledge. Let's say you could be a marketer, you could be a financial profession, you could be an IT professional, but to communicate your idea, to make connections, you need a language to connect with people, a language that everyone understands, and a language that everyone is comfortable to communicate, right? So with communication, with language, I believe an individual get confidence to speak, right? So today when I'm coming here, like if I stammer a bit, if I make a lot of pauses, if I'm thinking a lot, I mean, it could be a reason that my language skills could come as a barrier. Maybe preparation also, but language gives you that confidence to connect your thoughts properly when you speak. So සරලව කියනවා නම් අපි ඔළුවෙන් හිතන දේ කටින් කතා කරන්න මේ දෙක කනෙක්ට් වෙන්න මේ language එක භාෂාව කියන දේ වැදගත් වෙනවා, right? So when you are equipped with the right language and the right knowledge, of course, you will get confidence. Because in the business world, today in this macroeconomic environment, which is highly volatile with a lot of issues happening in Sri Lanka as well as global, you need a lot of confidence to face those challenges, right? And that comes with good knowledge and good language skills to maneuver your conversations and to build those communication with the right people. Simply, let me start, since I believe everyone is like at the start of their career or still studying, or fresh executive. So your stepping stone to the corporate world, of course, after getting your educational paper qualification, would be to, start applying for jobs. So I just want to quote a simple example that I come across when I call for interviews within my team, right? The first thing that we would, of course, we have the CV, we go through the CV, but we judge you basically based on how well you present yourself. How confident are you, right? How organized are you in your thoughts to putting yourself out there? So marketing වලින් ගත්තොත් අපි කතා කරන්නේ පාරිභෝගිකයන්ට customers ලට මොකක් හරි අපේ භාණ්ඩයක් හරි සේවාවක් හරි ඒගොල්ලන්ට මිලදී ගැනීමට අපි interest එකක් create කරන්න ඕනේ. So similarly, when you go for a job interview, you need to portray yourself as the right candidate, right? So එතනදී communication කියන එක තමයි ඉස්සල්ලාම එන්නේ. Simply, if we ask a question, so let's say I interview a person called Sama. Tell me about yourself, right? You should be able to speak very confidently and say it out loud that I'm so and so, I have these educational qualifications, right? I'm from this area, and these are my hobbies. Like, you need to structure your answer in an interesting level as well, as opposed to repeating what's always in the resume or CV. Try to pitch yourself a little higher. I mean, add a little bit of spice to your answer, right? That comes to good communication. So your career, to start off at a good pace, you need to have good communication, which gives you confidence, right? So රස්සාවකට ගියාට පස්සේ මොකක්ද? ඔයාගේ performance එක evaluate කරන්න. How well you have been doing. So there are quarterly performance evaluations, biannual, different intervals, right? So if you have any issues to communicate to your boss, whether you need to ask for more support, I mean, in business language, how you ask for support is a little different, right? I mean, first you need to say, what is the learning that you have gained through your job so far? But for you to perform better, what do you need? So you need to construct your answer. You may have the capability to write it, but when articulating it in words, communicate කරද්දී, තවත් පුද්ගලයෙක්ට කතා කරද්දී ඒක හොඳට emphasize කරලා මේ කතා කරලා ඒ අවශ්‍ය දේ කරගන්න convincing power එක එන්නේ හොඳ communication skill එකක් තියෙනකොට. So business world එකේ තව දෙයක් තමයි, like lot of us will have ideas. ඒක concept එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්, new product එකකට වෙන්න පුළුවන්. If you want to sell your idea to the business, right, and you're willing to contribute to a greater extent to the business, how do you create your concept story in a convincing manner? So all these three key things, I just put myself as a marketer, as a fresher, when I started my career, what helped me the most would be the communication, right? So if you're doing a sales pitch, you have to talk to, let's say you have an idea for a new product. පළමුවෙන්ම අපි කරන්නේ අපි පාරිභෝගිකයන්ට කතා කරලා we get the ideas, like what is their feedback, what do they think about the product that you're trying to launch. And you have to articulate it and present it to your bosses in a manner that it will benefit the business, right? So it's a different language that you need to speak to convince them. So just want to leave in summary, globally, when we are doing businesses, global language එකක් වෙන්නේ English, right? අපි Chinese එක්කෙනෙක්ට කතා කරත්, Mandarin ඒගොල්ලෝ කතා කරත්, they do have a flair of knowledge in English, right? So ඒක ගොඩක් උවමනා වෙන භාෂාවක් ඕගොල්ලන්ට, and how we speak in English in the business world is a little different. I think that's what you guys will get exposed to through this course. And when you have the right knowledge, good level of communication, and the right words to articulate your thoughts in the business world, you will get the confidence to face the challenges. That's the key point that I want to leave here. So in my journey, this whole language of English, why it was important. So if you look at my journey, I started off as a research executive, right? So that was also those days it was TNS, now it's known as Cantil MRB. So I had to talk to customers, understand what the problem that my client has, go to customers and see how best I could answer my client's problem and present it to them, right? My customers, the feedback they give would be, it could be a lot of things, but I had to articulate it in a manner that will solve the problem of the customer. So මට හුඟක් inputs ලැබෙනවා පාරිභෝගිකයන්ගෙන්. මම දැනගන්න ඕනේ ඒක අදාළ ආකාරයට මගේ client business issue එකක් විසඳන විදිහට, impact එකක් එන විදිහට communicate කරන්න, හරියට presentation එකක් හදාගෙන ඒක present කරලා client එක්ක වැඩ කරන්න, business issue එක resolve කරන්න. So එතනදී අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා දෙපැත්තක්. ඒ කියන්නේ පාරිභෝගිකයෙක් එක්ක communicate කරන විදිහට නෙමෙයි අපි client කෙනෙක් එක්ක communicate කරන්නේ, right? So you could speak to your customers in Sinhala, but you have to translate it in the right language to present it to the client for them to convince that you have found some options to the problem. එතකොට තව companies ගත්තොත් මම Unilever, Reckitt's, then if I take Domino's also, these are multinational companies and a franchise, right? Definitely not bounded to Sri Lanka. I always had to connect with people in India, Singapore, sometimes USA. So to get through my ideas, to convince them that this is what needs to be done in the business, this is the need of the hour, it's the language which helped me to convince them and to get their buy-in as a team to focus on the business and move ahead with the challenges that I face. So all I want to say is, if you are looking for a corporate career, and especially if you want to get exposure in multinationals, because that's in fact a good learning environment for anybody who wants to get into marketing, especially to have a stint in a multinational company, which will give you a good foundation. A key thing, a key enabler for you to, succeed in your career is English language, right? Even when it comes to local companies, just because we are local doesn't mean that, you can be happy about speaking Sinhala well. දැන් තියෙන වාතාවරණයත් එක්ක රටේ ගොඩාක් local companies focus කරන්නේ export market එකට products, services provide කරන්න. So ඒ economic ඒ දායකත්වය දෙන්න නම් ඔයා local company එක වැඩ කරත්, you need to have the language flair to connect with the outer world potential customers to build your network. So here the thought that I want to leave is either you choose to work for a local company or a multinational company, or you want to go abroad, given the context of the country, it will still help you to know English well, to know the business English appropriately, to communicate your thoughts in a more constructed manner, to convince people, right? And get the buy-in, because company එක තනියම කෙනෙක්ට වැඩ කරන්න බෑ. Team work එක අත්‍යවශ්‍යයි, right? Team එකක් හදාගන්න, ඒ bond එක හදාගන්න, ඒ challenges face කරන්න, communication is the key thing, and you need to be convincing enough to anybody who you're working with, and that comes in this global context when you can converse in English. So it's important to know your native language, but if you want to succeed in your corporate journey, English language is a clear enabler. So that's the thought that I want to leave with you guys for today. I hope I made my point clear. So if there's any questions, I'm more than happy to address. And I wish you guys all the very best in this learning endeavor.
Thank you, Ms. Dulanganee Mathugama, for joining with us in the first place, and of course for sharing all your experience and your knowledge with our participants today. And we hope that it'll really help them to shape their future as well. Right. So now moving on. Yes. Now moving on, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite another special personality who has joined with us on behalf of the lecturers at Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing who are conducting this BPE program. I would like to invite one of our lecturers at Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing. Now, in profession, she is an HR professional, an attorney at law and a commissioner for oaths, and also a part-time lecturer, and she completed her LLBs at Colombo University, and also an MBA specializing in HR from Cardiff Metropolitan University, UK. Furthermore, pursuing her passion for training and development, she also serves as a visiting lecturer here at Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Shanika Pereira Fonseca as lecturer, Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing.
Thank you very much, Oshida. Give me a minute until I share my presentation. I hope I'm audible enough for everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, hi everyone, and very good afternoon to all of you. And once again, thank you very much, Oshida, for the intro. So moving on, I was listening to the welcome address as well as the keynote speech by Dr. Dilhan as well as Ms. Dulanganee. It's very well explained as to the importance of learning this link language to excel in the corporate world as business leaders. So let me begin with this thought. I have all the strengths I need to succeed. This is something that I usually use in my lectures because this is one motivation that all of us have to have within us. It's like that self-confidence that Dr. Dilhan as well as Ms. Dulanganee was talking about. This comes to you with that motivation that you have and also the confidence that you have within you to excel in whatever you do. So with that thought, let me start on a few points. I will be touching upon a very few points as to why we should be treading upon this path and why do we need to be fluent in English. I hope not to give a lengthy introduction about the course because there will be another brief presentation on that from the Institute. So very briefly to touch upon the program that you are trying to pursue. When it comes to learning a language, we know that there are basically 4 skills that we need to be thorough with. Those are speaking, reading, writing, listening, as well as speaking. So the 4 skills. reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So we will be touching upon all these skills throughout this program. In different contexts, in very practical contexts, as mentioned by the speakers before, aligning with the corporate world scenarios. A few grammar parts which are very much applicable to your day-to-day usage, vocabulary items, as well as communication skills, mainly as business leaders to excel, in different scenarios, handling a meeting, or when it comes to drafting something, whether it's reading, writing, speaking, or listening, whatever it is. This program will be addressing these areas for you to be thorough, more thorough with the skills that you already have in you. So like maybe we have a mixed audience here. Maybe some of you are still aiming to enter the corporate world. Some of you may have been in the corporate world for a while, and maybe some of you have come to a stage where you're looking at better prospects. So yeah, like touching upon a few aspects as to why we should actually learn this linked language, which was very well touched upon by the previous speakers as well. So let me be very brief on this because you've been hearing this. So English is an international common tongue which links us with the whole world, as explained earlier. We cannot do businesses in isolation anymore. We cannot limit our businesses to our own country anymore, especially Sri Lanka in the current situation. You cannot think of anything like that. So we need this common tongue. We need to excel in this common tongue for us to get connected with the world. This slide also gets connected to the same point. It's essential if you want to work in international business or commerce, you need to excel in this area, be good in your communication skills, project that image, that confidence in you to those who are doing business with you. So this program aims at giving you that skill to a great extent. So this is actually a teaching learning process, everyone. Let me touch upon this aspect in a while. So whatever the skill that we are trying to give to you through this program, it's going to be actually 50-50 contribution from the two ends, from the lecturers end and from the learners. And so if we are focused on the same objectives, if we are going to achieve the same goals through this course, I'm pretty sure that we can do a very good job at gaining these skills or polishing up on the skills that you already have. So it's the language of academia. If you look at higher studies, maybe some of you have already done some of the higher studies that you were aiming to do, and maybe some of you are looking at pursuing your higher studies. So whatever it is, if you wish to get yourself updated, get more knowledge, get more qualified, yes, this is the language that is going to help you. I don't mean to say that you don't have to be good in your Sinhala, definitely Sinhala being mother tongue or Tamil being your mother tongue. Definitely you have to be thorough with that, but certainly you need to have this skill in handling this language, the link language, English, if you need to excel in your studies and gain more knowledge and get more qualified as well. Moving on, it gives you access to a wealth of written media, online and printed. I'm pretty sure that you already are in the habit of, reading some e-papers and all. Of course, there are Sinhala e-papers, Tamil e-papers, but then like most of the business knowledge, business insights are shared in all these like, English printed media, different articles and stuff, magazines, newspapers, articles, you name it. There are like so many modes through which you can gain more knowledge and also for you to get more updated. So this language is going to be handy when it comes to all these aspects. When it comes to, it comes in handy when traveling, definitely when it comes to traveling for business purposes and also for personal purposes as well, because you need to get connected with those in other countries using this language, because that's exactly why it is called as the link language or the common tongue. Of course, there are like a couple of other languages which come very close to this, but then up to date, English dominates over like every country when it comes to connecting people all over the world. moving on, and it boosts your personality and offers you more development opportunities. The speakers touched upon this aspect really well. I was listening, so it was very well explained as to how well you will, get that poise, that confidence, and how you could project that image of yours at an interview, at a discussion, maybe at a negotiation with customers, maybe at a con call, or on a Zoom call, or Teams call, whatever, that you're connecting with somebody else, from another country. This is the language that is going to, give that boost. Of course, you need to be well equipped with your knowledge. You need to be an expert in your chosen fields. You have to have enough knowledge. But on top of all that, as Ms. Dulanganee very well explained, if you face an interview, maybe you're on par with many others, who have the same qualifications, who have the same level of experience. But this is what is going to give you that competitive edge over the others, which makes you stand out among a crowd. When you are confident enough that you can converse with anybody in any language, Sinhala, Tamil, English in our context, of course, but when it comes to other countries, of course, many other languages are applicable, but then English dominates over them because that's the link language. So this gives you a boost to your personality on top of your qualifications, your experience, your expertise, your know-how, all that. Moving on, this point also was touched upon, I heard, for sure. It's essential for us to depict the true identity of Sri Lankans to the world. Okay, I took this in very general context, but applying this back to the business context, we've come to a juncture where we've got to really build up links with the world and, show to the world who Sri Lankans are and what Sri Lankans are capable of. For this, we need to excel in our communication skills. We need to project our image. We need to show to the world what we are capable of. So to convince people, you will, have to be excellent in your communication skills. So hopefully this program is going to offer you all this and you will get these advantages, all the participants. So, touching a bit on online learning, because I know that we have a mixed crowd here. Some of us pursue studies physically, and some of us nowadays select online learning as well, the very same platform that connects all of us at this moment as well. Yes, whenever possible, we go for physical learning, but then given the situation, due to different reasons, due to the current situation of the country, traveling issues, and, some time back we had another problem with COVID-19, but still some other problems are, continuing. So due to different reasons, we revert to online learning, and then it has become the new trend in learning, the new trend, or rather the most convenient trend in connecting with people, getting our knowledge updated easily, and in a time efficient manner. It's time saving, as I said. Traveling time is cut down, and many other benefits are there when it comes to your attire as well. Let me not talk about it too much. But then, yes, you have to be properly attired for sure for your, lectures, for your meetings or whatever. But then you have this luxury of, getting into the proper clothing at the last moment, even, if you are running on a tight schedule. And this has become one of the futuristic concepts. This is not a concept that has come to the world like during the past 2-3 years. This has been one of the trends that the world has been using and reverting to, or when it came to different kinds of business contexts. But Sri Lanka now more than ever before is reverting to online learning, online meetings, discussions, and using online platforms for different purposes. So to all of you who are out there who are selecting online platforms for learning, so we need to be mindful as to why we are selecting this platform. Let me tell you why I'm touching upon this. We need to focus on the true advantages of online learning. If you select that, when it comes to physical learning, of course, yes, you will make your way to the venue and be, seated there, and definitely we'll be focusing on the lesson physically, so that the lecturer also will get an opportunity to, see you, interact with you. But in online learning, we have a few challenges, but then yes, of course, with professionals like you all, this is going to be a possibility if all of us are well focused and, determined to get the best fruits out of it. So, and also, yeah, this is a convenient mode of, pursuing studies nowadays. Why I shared this slide with you guys is, okay, when it comes to online learning, sometimes we end up in a situation like this where, you kind of get bored sometimes, because it's sometimes a lecturer who's, batting on, and sometimes even when, you're asked questions, there's, pin drop silence. So the lecturer is supposed to actually think that you're like quite attentive. That's why the silence, but to see that some of you have fallen asleep. So this is exactly why I touched upon some of the advantages of online learning. So bearing that in mind only, you need to pursue your online studies. Because of certain advantages that you would get through online learning only, you revert to online learning. So let's, get the best benefit out of it without getting into a mode like this. If you become very inactive for a long time, this happens to all of us, isn't it? If you don't interact much, if you don't, take down notes or do the activities that are given to you, this can very well happen to you, me, or anybody. So we have to be determined to avoid a situation like that and interact well with the lecturer, through the online platform, as you see on the screen now. Taking down notes, expressing your ideas, contributing your, thoughts. You can voice your thoughts, definitely. Any lecturer who does anything online, or anybody who's handling a meeting online, will always give you a chance to voice your thoughts as well, right? So without going too passive, you need to be active, especially when you're interacting through an online platform. Moving ahead, so everyone, what is expected from you? Representing the lecturers from the institute, let me request this from all of you, whether you're pursuing your studies, online or physically, whatever it is. So we would encourage regular attendance from your end. As I told you earlier, this is going to be, a teaching learning process. It's not a teaching process. So, however much the lecturer tries to put in their best efforts, to do it physically or online, there won't be much results if the rest of the 50% won't come from the participants. So we earnestly request all the participants, whether physically attending or attending online, to give your fullest during the time that you're taking part in the lecture, because you're investing your time and money, your very valuable time and money onto this, and you've made a good decision to polish up on your skills. So get great. Congratulations on that. But let's do it in the best possible manner. So regular attendance is going to be really helpful to us without appearing on and off physically or online. If you are regular with your attendance, you can definitely, do a very good job during the sessions. And then at the end of the sessions, you will, really see that improvement on your part. And mind you, this is not going to be a, very long program. So this is going to be about, 12 weeks, around that. So we need to, get the best benefit out of these 12 lessons that we're going to, take part in, right? For the reasons that I mentioned before, instead of taking part in these lectures, you could have done something else, on Saturdays or on Sundays, or, whatever the part-time study time that you're selecting. You could have rested, you could have, done something that you're, passionate about. You could have pursued one of your hobbies. You could have, slept a bit. You could have watched something nice, that you wanted to. You could have read that, very interesting book. So, giving up all that, only you're selecting to, take part in these lectures. When I mentioned take part, I really mean it. You're taking part in lectures. You're participating in lectures. You're not just, listening to the lecturer physically. or online. Regular attendance is something that we really encourage you to maintain, because that's going to give you the best benefit out of this course. And punctuality, once again, physically, online, whatever the mode that you select, punctuality is a must. So whatever the mode that you select to attend the lectures, be at it, be there, be ready, be prepared to start at least 5 minutes before. So you're mentally ready to start it. If you're attending a lecture physically, if you attend the lesson at the last moment, imagine the situation where you're still panting when the lecturer starts the lecture. For the next a few minutes, you're trying to settle down, and then you're actually losing the first part of the lecture. You deserve the fullest out of this program. So this is why we keep on harping on all these. So when it comes to online platforms, also the same thing applies. Please log in at least 5 minutes before, not on the dot. Please log in time, not on time. Log in time, so that you're prepared for it. You're ready with your material. You can double check whether you have the material, whether you have this pen that you need to take down something that you hear from the lecturer, or to do the activity, so that you don't have to keep running around, because you're ready for it. Moving on, strong internet connection if you're joining online, because this is, end of the day, this is going to be very helpful to all of you guys, because the more disconnections in between the lesson, the more distractions. So you lose some good part of the lesson. If this happens 1 day out of all the 12 days, no worries, that is understood. But then if this is going to be a regular occurrence, then of course you too will be questioning as to how well you're gaining something from this. Like nowadays, things have improved. Technology also has improved. I don't mean to say that it's like at the peak of it in our country, but then, well, it facilitates us enough to somehow pursue our studies, to take part in meetings, discussions, and also please double check on your gadgets if you're logging in to the lesson online. So this strong internet connection will help you to do presentations. When it comes to screen sharing, you won't get disconnected. When you're on your mic or cam, you won't get disconnected. Just double check on that, because this is an investment. I know it's a bit of spending sometimes to upgrade your gadgets and all that, but then it's an investment. End of the day, you're getting the best benefit out of whatever the programs that you're following online. And video audio facilities, as I mentioned just a while ago, is a must for online learning, because you don't attend a lecture just to watch the lecturer performing. It's not that, right? We go to see a play, we watch TV, we watch films, but the lecturer is not doing any of those tasks. The lecturer is doing an interacting job. As I told you before, it's 50% that is coming from the lecturer's side. Even if the 100% is given by the lecturer, it's 50% complete. End of the day, if the rest of the 50% from you won't come. So it should be 50-50 from both ends. So let's do it. So video audio facilities is a must, everybody, if you're logging on for a lesson online. And then setting goals is something very much applicable to all of us, in day-to-day life as well. In the same way, setting goals before you start following this program is also very much encouraged from all of us, by all of us lecturers and by the institute, because the institute wishes you to get the best benefit out of whatever the programs that you pursue with them. So set goals. You can do a small assessment of yourself and see where you stand today, whether you can speak up in front of a crowd, whether you can voice your concerns and thoughts promptly, and whether you can sit down to write something effectively, whether you have enough vocabulary, whether your grammar is good enough. You can take a small assessment of yourself and then set goals for yourself. As I told you, we will be touching upon all these aspects: reading, writing, listening, as well as speaking. And also we will be touching upon grammar aspects, vocabulary, as well as communication skills. Though it's going to be a very short program, definitely all these aspects will be touched upon. So set goals for yourselves as to where you will end up by the end of the program. and you yourself can assess as to how well you have progressed after pursuing, this program, or, following this program. Proper setup to participate in the class is very important, definitely when it comes to, online learning. If you're attending lectures physically, thanks to the institute, they will definitely set up the proper classroom, learning environment for you to go and sit there and, participate in the lesson comfortably. So, but like the responsibility lies in your hand if you're participating online. So make sure that you select not a couch, but a chair to take part in the lesson. Make sure that you have a table and a chair where you can, comfortably be seated and get into that learning, participating mode, not the sleep mode on a couch or on a bed. Beds and couches are highly discouraged when it comes to online learning. You and I, both parties, know that it's not the best setup for us to do any kind of learning or any kind of interaction. That's the best setup for us to fall asleep and relax. So definitely get into a relaxed position, but then be seated, upright, and, follow the lesson. Be seated where you can take down notes and do activities and all that, especially when it comes to online learning. Moving on, and interact, join the discussions, definitely online. Physically, you will definitely be, getting into situations where you have to really get up and, speak up, come in for the class and, do certain speeches and all that. But don't worry, even online, you will definitely be asked to do all that on your cam and mic, and do presentations, PowerPoint presentations, and speak up, voice your concerns, add your thoughts. All this is encouraged. So it's all yours, your platform, for you to, gain the best out of it. You're very much welcomed to, bring up a counter argument with the lecturer. If you don't really agree with what the lecturer says, no worries. I mean, that's going to, add value to the lesson. End of the day, it's going to be a very friendly conversation, a friendly interaction. So because we are grooming business leaders through this program, we are grooming your personality, giving you that poise to, present yourself in front of crowds as well. And do one thing at a time. I'm so sorry that it has gone, so, at the bottom of the screen. I hope you can see it. Sri Lankans are very good at multitasking, something that we need to be very proud of, isn't it? But when it comes to learning, teaching and learning both ways, we need to do one thing at a time, everybody, to get the best benefit out of this program or this process. Me being the lecturer, I too have to do one thing at a time only, I admit. And you being participants, you need to do one thing at a time only, and that one thing should be interacting and following the lesson. That one thing cannot be browsing the net and, doing so many other things, and browsing different other, networks, and logging on to FB to, catch up with your friends. Yeah, all that is good, but not during the lessons. So let's keep out all the distractions. If you're if you're logging into a lesson online from home, we do understand there are people at home, you cannot send them out during the time that you take part in the lesson, but then try your best to, minimize the distractions so that you will get the best throughout. So to summarize what I've been telling you throughout, so right attitude, enthusiasm, and determination is what we expect from you participants, and we lecturers ensure the same qualities from our end to give you a good delivery as well. On behalf of the institute, I would make that promise to all of you participants that we too will have all these. We would really encourage all of you also to start the program and continue it until the end with all these aspects, right attitude, enthusiasm, and determination, because both y'all and the lecturers and the institute, both ends, the institute and y'all, would be aiming at achieving the set goals through this program. So with that note, let me end my thoughts that, okay, obstacles don't have to stop you. if you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. If you're determined to achieve your goals, you don't have to give up when you come across obstacles. What should you do? If you have three options given by Michael Jordan, what are the options? If you come across a wall on the way, you can climb it, you can go through it, or you can walk around it, or work around it, or walk around it. May be anything. So see how many options we have whenever we are encountering obstacles. So with this motivation, we would, on behalf of all the lecturers, on behalf of the Institute, I would welcome all of you to this program. Please start participating and continue the program with this attitude. You will come across obstacles when this lecturer asks you to get up and speak up, or on your cam and mic and speak up. It'll be a bit of a challenge sometimes. Maybe for some of you who are already into delivering speeches and presentations, it's not going to be a very big deal. But for others, it's going to be a big deal. Yes, fine. So let's start with that big deal in a little way. By the end of the program, you will do that big deal in a very big way. Right. So thank you very much, everybody. And good luck to all of you to achieve all the goals that you're going to set to achieve through this program. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Shanika. Thank you once again for joining with us, and also for sharing all those information and knowledge with our participants. And yeah, thank you once again for joining with us. Right, so moving on, ladies and gentlemen, next up to address this gathering and to deliver the program brief, I would like to invite Ms. Umesha Boghapete, a Junior Associate, Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, Slim Business School.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you can hear me.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So, on behalf of Slim Business School, once again, I warmly welcome you all for this virtual open day of the Business and Professional English first intake for 2023. So, I'm Umesha Boghapete, Junior Associate at Slim Business School. I'm going to present about the program brief. As you can see, it includes the important outcomes such as introduction, program components, program outline, evaluation, and the delivery. So the introduction, the target audience for this program is SLIM students to further enhance themselves as marketing professionals and all the other professionals. Let's move on to the program objectives. So this program will be conducted for a period of 3 months, and it will be aimed to provide competencies in the areas of writing, speaking, and listening skills. So the first objective is develop oral and written language skills in business context. Second one is expand vocabulary related to general business situations. Third one is communicate confidently and effectively in the business context. Fourth one is recognize the features of different language styles used in business correspondence, such as memos, emails, business letters, and reports. Moving forward to the program content, there are 4 contents. First one is essential English grammar. In here, you will be getting better knowledge about grammar. So the second one is writing in the business world. From this, you will gain the knowledge about business letters, like useful tips when writing letters and emails. Third one is effective presentation skills. From this, you will improve the basic techniques and key language skills of presentations, like how to do a proper presentation. Fourth one is effective telephone skills. From this, you will be getting effective communication skills like both speaking and listening skills. So there are so the program components, there are 2 program components, classroom activities and the workbook. So classroom activities, there are many group activities and role plays in this workbook. In physical classes, we are doing everything related to the workbook. For the online classes, I know for sure your lecturer, Miss Shanika, will be doing great lectures and interactive sessions for you all. So there will be a separate lecturer for the physical batch, and we have audio clips and video clips related to each module. So those also will be very helpful for you all. As you can see, this is your workbook. So you can collect this workbook from Business School within the next 2 weeks from Slim Business School, Kitulwatta. I will send more details through an email. So the program outline, there are 8 modules in this program. First one is saying hello and introduction. Second module is socializing. Third module is telephoning. Fourth one is exchanging information. Fifth one is arranging meetings. Sixth one is presentations. 7 is business letters, and the 8th module is report writing. So the evaluation, when it comes to the evaluation methods, there are 3 main components. So basically, there are 2 exams for you all. First one is a written oral exam, and the second one is a written exam. Like first you have your oral examination. In here, you have to do a presentation by your own. After that, once you have successfully done the oral examination, you will be eligible for the written exam. It's a 2-hour paper. So students who have done the oral exam will only be eligible for this written exam. And the most important thing is your attendance. In this program, the attendance will be highly monitoring. All participants must maintain attendance above 85%. This will be added to your final marks. So the delivery methods first step is registration, then the coaching, then the communication. When it comes to the registration, you will be given a registration number, every student. So at the registration point, so you should contact your salesperson regarding that. And every student must remember their registration number, and it will use for your assignment, examination, and any other corresponding related to the institute. For the online classes, for the online students, you need to put your registration number when you're attending to the class through the MS Teams platform, as we are monitoring your attendance. So coaching, there will be the classes will be commenced from 4th Saturday and 5th Sunday March. There are 2 parallel batches on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday online class is from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. and the Sunday physical class is from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So according to your availability, please choose one batch and participate for the classes accordingly. And this should be discussed with your salesperson when you're registering to the program. So the communication, if you need more details of this program, you can log into our website www.slim.lk. So also you can contact me. I'm the program coordinator throughout the program. So yeah, so these details are the I wanted to share with you all today. I think now you all have a better understand about the value of learning this business English program. So all the best, dear student. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Subesha Bogapati, for sharing all that information. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, with that, we would like to conclude today's session. So once again, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our guest speaker, Ms. Dulanganee Mathugama, Head of Marketing-Domino Sri Lanka, and our lecturer, Ms. Shanika Pereira Fonseca, Lecturer, Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, and of course, Dr. Dilhan Isjatilaka, Executive Committee Member of Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing. So once again, thank you each and every one of you for committing your time and effort, for joining with us. And of course, I would like to thank all the participants as well for coming in here and for committing your time and effort to make this event a reality, a possibility. So once again, thank you, and we hope to see each and every one of you as students of Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing as soon as possible. Thank you and have a good day.